we know that NATO countries they haven't implemented Article 5, which is the article that says an attack on one is an attack on all. But, Andy, they have implemented Article 4.
Yes, they have. Article 4, which encourages, there's three main articles that are in play here. Articles 4, 5, and 6 of the NATO Treaty.
This is the NATO Treaty. People need to know what that is.
All right, I'll just give you a little background on it. NATO was founded in 1949. The idea was collective defense as the foundational and motivational purpose of the alliance. So an attack on one is an attack on all. They have a diplomatic mission that permanently is existing in Brussels, where there are ambassadorial level officials representing each of the NATO countries. The Council can meet promptly at any time. And I go back to what I was saying. That the decisions of NATO are not voted upon. They're made by consensus. In other words, consultations and discussions take place until a decision acceptable to all is reached. Now, Article 4 is any party to NATO, that is, any state that is a member of NATO can call for consultations among its members to identify problems and seek solutions before they get out of hand.
That's already been implemented.
And has, with respect to the current Russian invasion of Ukraine, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland jointly called for consultations.
So I want to put up a map for our audience.
Okay.
So if you look at Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and if you're listening on radio, these are three countries that border the northwestern portion of Russia.
And Poland has also called for consultations.
Yes, but these three countries in particular were also part of the Warsaw Pact.
They were part of the Warsaw Pact. They were called the Baltic States. They were Russian Federated Soviet republics.
And Antony Blinken said yesterday that their concern is that Putin's goal is to get further than Ukraine. He's got to get control of Ukraine first. That may take him another couple of weeks or another week or two. But if those three countries, Estonia, for instance, says, we've been attacked, what happens?
Well, Estonia can invoke then Article 5 and say, come to our aid. And the ambassadors in Brussels would meet and will decide. But the important thing to understand is that each country decides the extent to which it is going to give aid and assistance to the other countries.
So when you mentioned, Jordan, troops on the border in harm's way, let's now listen to what President Biden said. This is what has me concerned, folks, about a war in Europe. That goes it's already a war in Europe. That goes further. Listen to President Biden yesterday.
As I made crystal clear, the United States will defend every inch of NATO territory with the full force of American power. And the good news is NATO is more united and more determined than ever. There is no doubt that the United States and every NATO ally will meet our Article 5 commitments, which says an attack on one is an attack on all.
So, Andy, the president just said, it's for our audience to understand, that if there is an attack on an Estonia, a Latvia, a Lithuania on the border with Russia, U.S. troops and NATO forces will be committed.
That's exactly what I heard him say. If Article 5 is invoked, then the consultations would take place, and the American troops would be put in harm's way, facing Russian troops potentially as part of obviously under the supreme command of NATO, facing Russian troops.
We could go to Jason, Pennsylvania, line 3. Hey, Jason.
Hi. Yes, I have two questions. The invasion to Ukraine by Russia, what does that mean for China? And secondly,
it means goodbye, Taiwan.
Yeah, be very clear here.
Taiwan is gone. If this goes successful, which it looks like it will be for Putin, Taiwan, goodbye. You're now part of the CCP.
Yes. So it's a good question, and the Chinese are looking at this, and it was no accident that Vladimir Putin, Andy, met with Chairman Xi, the great premier now of China.
Who's backing his efforts here.
Who, by the way, is backing his efforts
because
here.
usually he would not back efforts to take another independent sovereign country. That's not his...
But he is here.
He basically met with Xi, and he says, I'm going west, you go east.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
And China is the much bigger player here, obviously, when it comes to
world economy,
the technology,
and
the
military.
Kind of military they have, which is a much more modern military.
I mean, I'm going to throw this out. I don't know. I thought about this last night. So we say, well, we could take Russia's military down really quick.
Yeah.
Because the United States military is strong. What if China was backing up the Russians? So you've got World War III.
That is World War III.
That's World War III.
World War III at a level World War II didn't reach.